Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about my endgame builds for the heavy bowgun. I'm going to have to do more than one video, and we're kind of stabbing in the dark with these builds a little bit. Let me explain. These are pre-Alatreon builds, and the builds, I consider them mostly useful for fighting anything currently in the game, but the real question is, what will we need when Alatreon comes out, and how will Capcom make Alatreon difficult to fight with the heavy bowguns? I think it's fair to say that the Beast Buster really made this weapon stand far apart from the other weapons in terms of ease of use, and maybe, if I'm using the word right, cheesability, right? You can fight any monster with the heavy bowgun sticky setup at this point and make the fight pretty easy. We know that with Arch-Tempered Namiyo. We know that with the other fights that we've received as well. Like, think of the opening of the Master Rank Koh-Taroth fight. Yeah, you get a KO on her and then suddenly she's very easy. Not all weapons can do that, so sticky ammo's in a really strong spot, and knowing Capcom, when they release Alatreon, I expect them to make it pretty difficult to use sticky ammo against him. So take this build with a grain of salt. When he actually comes out, we'll probably focus on a counter build. However, this build is still pretty good in general for everything else. Why don't I show you what it's made out of? So what I've done is, oh, I didn't want to talk to you. What I've done is I've taken my usual sticky ammo setup with the Razor Sharp Secret, or whatever it's called, True Razor Sharp, and I've swapped it out with the Divine Blessing setup. Let me show you. We're going to choose Change Equipment. Alright, so here's the custom mods first of all. 4 recoil, 1 shield. That didn't change because this is a sticky ammo setup. Then for the armor pieces, you can see it's Nergigante helm, Nergigante braces, Nergigante greaves, and 2 pieces of the golden loon mail. Basically, what's changed in this build is one thing. Agitator Secret is dropped. So Agitator Secret, it does add more damage to your sticky ammo. It's not like a surprising amount of extra damage, and you don't really gain the benefits of the extra affinity that you get from Agitator when it procs, when it activates. And that's because sticky ammo doesn't really, it has no interaction with affinity, it has no interaction with crit boost. So dropping Agitator to pick up Divine Blessing actually gives this build a bunch of extra survivability, right? Because Divine Blessing, it's, in my opinion, the combination of health boost and Divine Blessing, that's basically the defense meta in this game. It's really powerful. You'll notice a few other skills. We have Guard Up. There it is, Guard Up. You'll notice we have 2 levels of guard. Now here's the deal. With this build, you can kind of mess around with that. Why don't I show you how the decorations are allocated? So right here, this large decoration slot is left over. If you're fighting a monster that uses a lot of elemental attacks, you could probably fill this in with something that's useful for that. If you're not, you could do something like, I don't know, Recovery Speed. Recovery Speed, by the way, is sort of this skill that everyone overlooks. That week I worked on defensive skills. One of the things I learned is that having 3 levels of recovery speed is really strong. It's like surprisingly strong, and you don't realize it until you take it onto your build. So recovery speed, what it does is when you get knocked down, if you have 3 levels of it, you basically recover all of your red health by the time you've stood up, and then you're ready to get into recovering health with your health recovery augmentation on your weapon. So it's really, really powerful for not having to heal, and that's useful for a weapon like the heavy bowgun, because heavy bowgun has, I believe it's the slowest sheath in the game. That's the big weakness of the heavy bowgun. Now alternatively, instead of recovery, you could take evade extender and finish it out. When you put evade extender 3 on a heavy bowgun, it has so much range, it's ridiculous. You roll halfway across the map, it feels like. You could drop actually the guard up decoration for the evade extender, and that's because if you're using the heavy bowgun well, you really ought not to be guarding anything that requires guard up. You should just be rolling away. It's much better to do that. And with Evade Extender 3, it's easier than ever to do that. Okay, so that's just a point on that issue. But yeah, so there's some wiggle room in the build, but most importantly, you can see we have Divine Blessing and Health Boost together, along with Guard and Guard Up, and this is giving us our Survivability and Evade Extender, I guess you could argue. And then for our damage output, all of our damage output is coming from True Razor Sharp. Okay, that's going to allow us to get free ammo, but also allows us to keep shooting without reloading. Combined with free element ammo up, artillery 3. We also have slugger 2. That's coming from these KO vitality decorations. Okay, it's a pretty tight build. That's the thing with the Nergigante armor. Not a lot of room on it, and the Demon Lord Beast Buster doesn't have any decoration slots. So it's a very tight build. If you find you need more decoration slots, drop the Rocksteady Mantle and bring instead the Glider Mantle, and the Glider Mantle will give you 2 more large decoration or giant decoration slots, level 4 decoration slots, whatever you want to call them. All right, let's go have a fight. I've queued up, not Arch-Tempered, Tempered, what's his name, Ruin Nergigante? Yeah. Let's have a gourmet voucher real fast. So when you use a heavy bowgun with sticky ammo, you always bring Bombardier. Oh, look at that, we got feline insurance too. That would have been really nice if this was a serious fight. But you bring Bombardier because it gives you 10% more damage. Excuse me. 10% more damage on your shells. Alright, let's get going. As a live commentary. Not scripted. That means when you have a cough, you have a cough. That means when your little kitty's laying next to you, she snores in the microphone. Or the guys mowing outside make a bunch of noise. Or my cat meowing by the door over there. Alright, here we are. So before the fight starts, I guess I'll load this up. Actually, let's go grab some pods. Slinger torch. We got this long run over here. Yeah, I find the opening of fights are so important. They really define the rest of the fight, don't they? He's mad. Now, we don't care about softening him, because we don't have to soften him. One of the benefits of using explosive damage. Wait, where'd the rocks go? There they are. There we go. So here's our cluster bombs. If you're going to use cluster bombs, you have to be very careful not to aim them into your teammates. That's true razor sharp activating, and that's what makes this that skill is just, you have to have it. It's way too powerful. We're gonna roll to his side. You can tell what arm he's gonna land on because he raises it higher. Alright, we have our cluster bombs again. He's going to sleep because my cat put him to sleep. There's a wake up with the wyvern ammo. Okay, see, he's raising that arm, so we're going to run to this side. And you know, if you're playing with teammates, you might soften up the monster's body like this. That's real helpful for your teammates because some of them use light weapons and they don't get a one-shot soften on the monster, so it's real annoying for them to have to soften them up. So always try to help your teammates out. So you can see instead of guarding, we're just kind of rolling around because the heavy bowgun has so much maneuverability when it rolls. Go ahead and craft more ammo. Craft this up. Let's go ahead and put on this temporal mantle. Oh, wrong side. I should have gone to the other side. That's okay. We had temporal mantle on. Oh, that's cluster bomb 1. We want cluster bomb 3. I'm going to demonstrate that we can guard this actually. Alright, so we can guard it if we want, but look how much chip damage we took there. That's actually meaningful. So chip damage is a real problem for guarding attacks. By the way, instead of the recovery speed, you could have taken the true shot decoration. Oh, guess you can't roll under him. I don't even fight this guy that often. Alright, my cat's putting him to sleep. Second time, huh? I didn't get to wake him up because it's my own fault. Bruh. Okay, so now we get to see the build without the mantles. So this is important. Let's go ahead and heal up. I'm going to test out Divine Blessing on this a few times and kind of show you what it can do. Assuming it guards. There, it did activate there. Yep, damage taken reduced. Now look, we're just going to lay here a second. Look how much health we actually got back from that recovery speed. It's most of the health. Most of the health came back, and that's really important for survivability. Just having all that extra health. Do we need to... I'm good on that. Let's reload our sticky. This is a Demon Lord Beastbuster. That's weird. I thought that the Demon Lord Beastbuster had a faster reload. By the way, you can actually mount... Ooh! You can mount monsters on these ledges with the heavy bowgun. There's another example. Damage taken reduced. This is adding a lot to your survivability. Because, you know, if he brought you down below half health, there's a fair chance he one-shots you on your next move. Especially if you don't have any form of Divine Blessing, right? So if you have no Divine Blessing and you've been hit below half health, then pretty much the next hit's going to destroy you, right? More on guarding. You can see how much stamina that actually requires. One of the reasons I think guarding is quite dangerous, actually. Is why I think that being able to outspace an attack is actually a better strategy in this game than simply relying on the guard, unless you're going to take guard 5. But the funny thing is, Capcom does this thing where they have moves that break guard 5, and I don't know why they decided to do that, but it actually sort of reduces the usefulness of overly relying on guard. Alright, he's KO'd again. Let's go ahead and get this cluster bombs going. Boy, he's awfully angry. Make sure we reload this. So he's pretty hurt. Let's go ahead and get the paralysis out. There's paralysis too. Alright, so we're gonna roll to his left side, our right side. Probably one more shot and he'll be paralyzed. Alright. How did I know that? I've just played the game too much. It's funny, I don't have we're on the Xbox right now, so it's not like I have that overlay that tells you how much health the monster has before the next move. Oh man, I did not get away from that. Let's go ahead and reload this up. But see, also, that's why Divine Blessing is so useful, because you don't dodge every move. You think you will, but, you know, eventually you do make a mistake. Oh, there's a situation where it didn't even proc Divine Blessing. So let's go ahead and sheath. That's where sheathing is really important, because you're at most risk right then when you're in one-shot range. Here we go. We're going to shoot down his body. And missed terribly, but he still flinched. Drop this on him real fast. I don't understand all of his moveset. This guy, I've only fought him so many times. He's actually, I don't consider him as fun as regular Nergigante. What do you guys think of that? I'm more a fan of regular Nergigante. Alright, he's after the cat. We'll have a max potion. We should have, yeah, we got a Stare Jerky. Grab this real fast. Dragon Pod. Wonder what Dragon Pod does to him. Did my cat just knock him down? OP cat, guys. That's a Meowlatop cocktail, by the way. Love Meowlatop cocktail. Oh, I should show you guys that full AFK build I put together. People who watched my 24-hour stream know what I'm talking about. So we've provided knockdown after knockdown, multiple crowd controls. This is really important in multiplayer because it gives the team an opportunity to maybe stop and heal, or really to stop and do a lot of damage. Ouch. Look at that health recovery. That's crazy. So he landed a move on us. It just doesn't matter. Right here too. Watch this. Look, see, all our health is gonna come back. We're gonna get a few shots in on him. Lots of health recovery, and it doesn't seem like it matters, but it stacks up. It really does. It really does change how the fight plays out. Alright, see all these shots? These are going to heal me like crazy. Not going to get to take advantage of that, unfortunately. Yeah, he's KO'd again. Yeah, so one of the most difficult things with the heavy bowgun is the long sheath time, and if you actually do get hit, you're in a lot of trouble. You mostly don't run into this trouble in multiplayer, because what happens is the monster divides his time between 4 players. So a long time ago, I was fighting regular behemoth for the first time as a heavy bowgun user, and I was discovering when you try to solo the behemoth, he's actually quite difficult because he just focuses on you as a heavy bowgun player, and you got a long sheath time, and this does not give you a lot of opportunities to heal. So back then, when I defeated Behemoth, I defeated him the night he launched, right? And that was kind of a big deal back then because nobody really knew if he was soloable, and he was real tough when he first launched. There were new mechanics and everything. So I defeated him the first time with a heavy bowgun, and I learned some valuable lessons. I learned that a few defensive skills can really go a long way. And back then, I was using the heavy bowgun, and I brought, I think it was like Evade Extender 3, and I brought Divine Blessing 3. Back then, there was no Divine Blessing Secret. So here we are again today, and I'm applying those same concepts. Here we have Divine Blessing Secret this time. We've got Evade Extender 1. You could add Evade Extender 2 to it if you wanted to, but I'm playing around with this other skill, Recovery Speed. Recovery Speed also has some pretty interesting benefits. We got Recovery Up on the mantles, and of course, Guard Up and Guard 2 on the shield, but we don't want to over-rely on the shield with the heavy bowgun, because if you do that, I feel that you suffer other problems. You know, with the heavy bowgun, if you make a mistake, I feel that's where most of the danger is when it comes to survivability. It's not when you're properly guarding that you find yourself in trouble. It's when a mistake has occurred. Like, let's say you were attacking the monster does land a move on you during your recovery frames. That's when you find out that guarding doesn't really save your life, because you were in the middle of an attack and the monster punished you. Okay, and that's when you find out defensive skills like Recovery Speed come to the rescue and bring your survivability up. So it's a difference in the way we think about defense. People think, I'll just have the strongest guard ever, this will keep me alive. When it turns out Recovery Speed, which helps you because you've made a mistake, is what keeps you alive. Ideas like that are really important when we talk about survivability and defense. Alright, so that's going to be my sticky ammo build for the end game. It swaps out Agitator Secret and considers room for other survivability skills. If you want Agitator Secret on the build, just go back to my old Beast Buster build. It's great for fighting like trash mobs, you know, weak monsters that you're not concerned about. For easy fights, you will want that Agitator Secret. You'll want to optimize for damage because this weapon's so easy. For difficult fights, you will probably be considering the sticky ammo build that I just showed you. Okay, let me know what you think about it in the comment sections. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.